Hi, I'm Tom Britton. I'm co-founder of SyndicateRoom. Prior to SyndicateRoom, I was the product manager at thetrainline.com. And if you kind of combine the two, I've been working in product for about 12 years. In my role as co-founder, I do a lot of things, but most of it is focused on making sure that our customers' needs are met. And this is customers who are both investors and companies, ensuring that our product is up to scratch and not creating any problems for them or pain points, and making sure that the team is delivering on our promise. When I was working at the Trainline back in 2010, we decided to launch a mobile application which customers could use to check train times and buy tickets. Of course, this was kind of a new thing then because the smartphone was just coming out. And so we very much treated it like a brand new product, almost a brand new company. And we went through the process of creating a prototype, actually a paper prototype, so drawing it up, printing it out, taking it to customers. So we stood at train stations and tried to grab people who were waiting around looking at the timetable boards or coming off the trains who didn't look like they were in a rush, and walking them through the process to get feedback on what looked like it was working well and what needed to be improved. Once we had that initial feedback, we went through the process of creating a beta for the app using, I think it's called Apple's Test Flight. And then in that beta, we sent it out to a number of people who we knew made multiple journeys a week on the Trainline platform, and asked them if they would give it a try. After we did that, we got some more feedback, made some adjustments. We then did a soft launch to a segment of our market, of our database. Got feedback from them, made some last minute changes, and then went with a full launch on the App Store to our whole database. And luckily things pulled off, people loved it. It was the #1 free travel app for a while in the App Store, and got something like 1 million downloads in the first month, which back in 2010 was a big thing, although now probably sounds like, just 1 million downloads. But then it was a big thing. Whenever I design a survey, I try and keep it to about 6 or 7 questions. And the reason I do that is that I know after that point, people have lost interest. A lot of people put surveys together that have 30, 40 questions. You just sit there going, oh my God, I don't want to answer this. So in order to get a good completion rate, I keep it to 6 or 7 questions. Some of those questions will be multi-part, so if it's a multiple choice and they answer question D, they might get a follow-up that says, oh, why did you answer D to this? I don't really view that as another question. It's just a follow-on. And I think that users also understand that that's not an additional question. It's kind of the same for the following. So when I say 6 or 7, it could be 6 or 7 with 2 or 3 follow-ons to some of those. In terms of sample sizes, I mean, the more the merrier. Really, you can get a very skewed data set if you're only asking 10 or 20 people, or if you only get 10 or 20 responses. So you should be looking at kind of 50 or more. If you look at probability and statistics, the more likely you are to have sufficient to make a decision on. So I would say go for kind of 50 to 100 or more if you can. While that might sound hard, you don't want to be basing decisions on what you're going to be doing for the next 6 to 12 months on just 10 to 20 people telling you what they think is right. The other thing to keep in mind when it comes to sample size is that you want to get as many people who are cold to you as you can, because anybody that you've worked with in the past or friends and family that respond to it are probably going to give you a much more positive answer than someone you've never interacted with. So try and keep in mind not just the size, but who is actually responding, and removing those friends and family who might be just responding to cheer you up. We do use product sprints at SyndicateRoom, and we also use them at the Trainline. And both use 2-week-long sprints predominantly. Sprints are great for giving teams a focus for a short period of time. And so long as you can link those sprints to a bigger outcome, great. So if you need to deliver this big project by the end of month 3 or whatever, and you chop that down into 2-week sprints, well then in each 2 weeks, you feel like you're delivering something, so everyone's motivated, morale is high, because, hey, it's the end of the sprint, we're done with this and that. And by the end of it, you've achieved that longer product. So I'm definitely a fan of sprints. Some people use 1-week sprints. I tend to find that those are really short. You don't have enough time to focus. You're just rushing through the sprint rituals. Hey, have this meeting. Okay, get a little bit done. Okay, have this meeting. Get a little bit done. Oh, it's the end of the sprint. We've got to deliver. And it's like really rapid. With 2 weeks, you've got a little bit more time to think about it, plan it out, go through the rituals, get it done and deliver it, and still have those kind of almost instant gratifications where we are delivering and we're delivering quite quickly. Month sprints can work, but then you're waiting a whole month to see what the results of that sprint is. And a month in a startup is actually quite a long time. A lot changes in a month. So while I've seen some companies pull it off, I generally recommend doing 2-week sprints.